Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the Path Nutritional Therapy. And this is Brandy Lloyd, your host. And I just want to remind everybody that these podcasts are for educational purposes only. If you're planning on making any changes to your health or implementing any of the things that you hear on my show, to make sure that you talk to a health professional about it, okay? Let's get into fixing what's broken. This is a big deal. A lot of times when I first sit down with a prospective client, whether it's online or in person, I hear a lot of these kind of statements, like, I just really want to get better, or I want to feel like my old self, or I just want to improve my health, or I just want to learn to eat better. Or they might tighten it in a little bit more and say, I just really feel like I want to, I need to lose weight, or I want to get off my medications, or I just really want to sleep better. And that is all awesome. But what most people don't realize is we need to be a little bit more specific with our goals, and we need to also involve our heart, our mind, and our soul in the picture. And that's really where I dig in. I just call it kind of like digging in or pulling out a prospective client's emotions. So it's not just, let's say they are specific. Let's say they want to lose 20 pounds. Or let's say they want to get off their hormone replacement therapy, or they want to get off birth control, or their PPIs, or they just finally want more energy, or say it is specific, right? Okay, so now that we have that piece of the puzzle, it's not just about your body, but it's also your mindset that's going to kick in here, and also your heart, right? Your emotions. Your emotions are tied to your goals, whether you have them or not. Because how you feel about where you are in life is actually dictating where you are in life. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today is fixing what's broken, not just the symptoms, but also fixing what's broken maybe in your heart, and what is broken maybe in your mind that is keeping you from actually achieving some of those maybe body goals that you might have. And people come to me for body goals, whether they're dealing with a chronic illness, or maybe they have diabetes, or maybe they're like myself and they have inflammatory arthritis or another autoimmune disease. That's really what gets them in my door, so to speak, and working with me. But I quickly and gently try and get them to open up to what the full process is. And I really want you to focus on those words, be open. You need to be open for what is actually required to heal. And my Restore program is RESTORE for a reason. Rest, which is basically stress management. Eat, sleep, tribe, open up, repair, and exercise. That's the entire process. That is body, mind, and soul. Or you can even say body, mind, spirit, and soul, because I believe that our spirit and our soul are more than one. They're two parts, two parts of the same thing. So let's get back to this. So we need to trust the process. Trusting the process is actually going to give you that willpower that you're looking for, right? You don't just dip your toe in the water and expect to be refreshed from a swim, right? You got to jump all in, and that's actually trusting the process. As you trust the process, we're going to learn how to be open, right? We're going to kind of dig in a little bit. What needs to heal? These are some questions you need to ask yourself. Well, what needs to heal? Well, let's say that you are working on, say you're insulin dependent, and you don't want to have to take insulin anymore. You really want to get your blood sugar in control. Okay, so what needs to heal? Well, my blood sugar. My blood sugar needs to heal. And then what is your part in this job, right? What are some things that you can do to help get that blood sugar regulated again? I tell you what, it's not just a blood sugar problem, right? But there are steps that we can take to get that healing that you're looking for. So what is your part? Well, that would be like eating a diet that is probably lower in sugar, and that includes the carbohydrates and everything else. And I do have a wonderful program designed specifically around blood sugar balancing and detoxing, and it's called the Restart Program. And I have had quite a few pre-diabetics and diabetics going through the program that were either threatened with, hey, next time I see you, we're probably going to have to put you on insulin, my pre-diabetics, right? Or my insulin-dependent diabetics, completely overhauling their blood sugar to the point where they needed to make regular appointments throughout the program with their doctors to adjust their medications because the changes were happening so fast. So what is your part, right? What needs to heal? Let's just keep going with the diabetes. What is your part in that? What are some steps that you can take? And you can say, okay, well, I'm gonna look at my diet. That's my part in it. Okay, so what are the options, right? Doing the research, you got to do the homework. What maybe is the best eating plan for you when you have diabetes? And also remembering stress is a big part of treating blood sugar, right? And vice versa, treating blood sugar is a big part of treating stress and inflammation in your body. And there's a certain way you're going to need to exercise. There's certain people you're going to be around, you're going to want to be around to influence you in a good way. And these are all things that are your part in your healing process. And these are all options that you have to consider. Right? So if we're looking at Restore again, they're saying, well, how can I work on my stress management if I'm working on my diabetes, right? Or pre-diabetes? How can I work on my diet? We were just talking about that. How can I improve my sleep? Who are the people I can hang out with? How do I get some of my inside feelings and emotions out? How am I opening up? And then what other parts of the repair process can I actually involve myself and commit myself to? And then how should I be moving my body throughout this entire journey? You kind of start to see how it goes. And then once you have that stuff buckled down, realizing that some of these things can only be in pencil, there's quite a bit of trial and error when it comes to improving your health. And everybody's different. So there is no perfect way of eating. There's no perfect amount of sleep. There is no perfect support group. There's no perfect venting or opening up process, whether it's journaling or talking out loud, or, there's no perfect exercise, right? So there is a little bit of trial and error, but you need to trust the process if you really want to heal, if you really want to fix what's broken, right? Not just what we see on the outside and we apply these Band-Aids like a 7-day 20-pound weight loss and do the 30-day walking challenge or running challenge or jumping jack challenge or whatever it is. These are Band-Aids, right? Do the 5-day meditation thing and find peace in your life. No, if we're going to fix what's broken, we're going to have to dig deep, and we're going to have to find the body, mind, soul, and spirit connection, right? And once you start putting those together, you're going to have to trust the process to stay in it. So, and you don't have to understand something in order to believe that it can work, right? So say you have migraines, right? And you go into the doctor and say that's the path you choose is I just want this really quick. I just want to get these pills, or I am going to do some lifestyle changes. But in the meantime, I have a family to take care of and a job to go to. I'm just going to have to work with, combining a little bit of prescription medication with lifestyle changes until I see improvement. Now, your doctor's going to give you a very high level overview of how this medication works. Mainly, he's going to say, this is going to help stop the pain. That would be great. That's pretty much what you want to hear. And he might go into a little detail, maybe about blood vessels or, what, it depends on what medication you're taking for your migraines per se. But you take them faithfully, right? Because your doctor, someone that you trust, someone that has hopefully studied into this, is saying, do this, and this is the result that we're looking for. Now, it wouldn't even really rattle or shake your faith too much in the process, even if it took 1, 2, or 3 different types of medication, because you'll stick to it. You'll stick to it. Let's try something else. You'll be open to the trial and error when you're working with a doctor or professional per se. Same goes if you are being your own health advocate and you've got your reins on, say, I want to get off my insulin, right? You don't have to understand exactly how the migraine medication works in order to believe that it can help you out, right? That's where you need to be with any healing process, is you don't have to fully understand it. I see a lot of people kind of imploding with information, especially with, podcasts. I'm a huge podcaster as far as doing them, listening to them. I'm learning and getting information all the time. But sometimes, you're just not going to be able to understand the complete science of something, right? Or you're just going to have a bunch of facts that really all you do is sit around just getting facts all the time, but you're not putting any action behind it, okay? So let's just realize that you have to have faith in order to believe. You're going to have faith that go into the doctor for that migraine medication. And even if it means sorting through a few of them, he's eventually going to give you something that's going to help with the pain, okay? Now, I'm a, nutritional therapy practitioner. I do help people with migraines, my example. And believe it or not, I've had quite a bit of experience with basically not even solely focusing on the migraines itself, but for some other front and center for them, priority health concerns that they were having, the migraines just sorted themselves out. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm not saying you don't have to take migraine medication, but I am saying that there are other alternatives with diet and lifestyle if you do suffer from them. And so as you're going through this process of healing, fixing what's broken, and you're working on your belief, you need to remind yourself continually what you're working towards. Right? So this does mean sitting down, meditating on it, and really kind of changing your mindset about how you feel and looking at your challenge with a positive mindset. Okay, so another way of doing that would be to set up some accountability programs, right? Like I mentioned, writing it down, actually tracking, right? So let's just continue on with the diabetes example that we're giving. We need to start tracking our daily, blood sugar. Most diabetics, they check it, but I don't know. I haven't had experience with a lot of people that actually log it, not unless they're specifically asked to by their physician for a short period of time. So let's keep going with that. So maybe we start tracking our blood sugar as we're making these diet and lifestyle and behavior changes, and then getting some support. We're working with somebody. Of course, getting the support, if you can, of your family and friends, your coworkers, the people that you spend a lot of time with. But also maybe that means joining a group of people that are trying to do the same thing, right? Like my blood sugar detox group, the Restarters. Some of the best compliments that I've had out of that program is the relationships that are made, and that it's nice to hear what other people are doing and how they're feeling, and they just didn't feel alone. So that's why having a tribe is a big part of the Restart program. And so make sure you have the support you need, and hopefully a mentor, somebody that's done it before, somebody that's helped other people do it. This is really, really like how, when you go to the doctor, you're going to him like a mentor, like, hey, help me, what do I do? And it makes a big difference when you're healing or when you're trying to fix what's broken, is to have that somebody that isn't in the same trench that you are in, maybe just a further down the road, right? And then also we need to make sure that you assess how it's going. So not only are you tracking, but you need to go back. And you need to look back at, okay, I started implementing these kind of changes, and then what have I seen in my body, my mind, and my spirit as I'm making these changes? And then don't be dogmatic. Just because you're saying, well, I'm following the keto diet, and these are, all the carbs I get, or I'm on this diet and I'm only sticking to this food list. You know what? Don't be afraid when you look at your assessments and you look back at your tracking that you have to make some changes. That's okay. Like I said, there is no perfect diet for everybody, and that goes across the board for exercise and meditation and the type of people you hang around and how many hours of sleep you get. So feel like you can make the adjustments that you need to make to stay on your healing path and fix what's broken now that you know what it is, right? And then you need to stay plugged in. This is a big deal. Listening to podcasts is actually a great way to stay plugged in. Even if you just have 10-minute drives in the car, if that helps you. I actually wake up in the morning and I love to learn. I'm a big learner, big information seeker. And I also like to put things into practice that I learn. And so when I wake up in the morning and I'm going through my morning routine and getting ready to have my quiet time, I'll put a podcast on. Just, it seems like my brain just kind of likes the information going in at that time of day. So maybe that's the only time of day you have, to really stay plugged in. And if it's reading a book, if it's watching videos on YouTube of people that have also got off of insulin.